my bad. Okay, is it working? Let me know. I'm just gonna keep drawing, and again, my apologies for this complete disaster today, but always learning, lessons learned, and sometimes you just, yeah, sometimes things don't work out, so you let me know if it's working. But I'm just gonna draw. You guys can watch. If you have any questions, hit me up. But again, my apologies for the complete mess this has been today, and hopefully this won't be the case in the future, as I'm using some different software. So I literally had to go download some different software, install that software, test that software, make sure it was working, and then come back to the stream. So that's it's been an interesting morning, to say the least. Okay, there's two of you here. Well, it is what it is, like I said. Alright, but I think this will work now. Okay, it's back. Cool. I'm hoping this doesn't crap out on me. If it does, I am definitely going to return this hardware, but hopefully we can finish up here, make this up to you guys, for you guys, all that good stuff. So I'm just really not happy with this hardware right now. So if this works, then this is the way I'm going to do it from now on. If it doesn't work, then I'm definitely gonna have to look at some other options here. So just in case you forgot, this is what I'm working on today. Just rendering this bird out. So building up my values as I go and trying to be careful as I shade. So I've introduced a little bit of warm gray just where these leaves are, or not leaves, these feathers I mean are, and we can, you know, blend some of these tones in as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing in this spot. So I think I'm gonna have to get how I sketch a desk. I'm not gonna do that today, but because I already started this drawing and I just want to finish it and be done because like I said, this morning has been kind of a nightmare, but we'll finish it out. Alright, so with Copics, the blending is really nice, works really well, and it's fairly easy if you apply the right technique, so, and the right paper. So again, I'm using vellum today. It's a little bit translucent, so if I lift off the screen, you'll be able to see that the opacity goes down. I think I'm going to need a 2-screen setup if I'm using this software though, so that's something I'm going to have to look into. It's like more stuff, right? That way I can have the chat with you guys up and also watch what's happening on my stream. So give me just a sec here, bear with me. Alright, I got my stream there. Okay, I think this works for now, short of hooking up another display, but at least this way I can see the chat and see what I'm doing at the same time. Alright, so just building up some of this value, making sure we don't go too dark on some of these areas. But wow, what a disaster. And hopefully the video won't be as choppy this time. It's something I also noticed with the previous kind of setup. So I'm hoping that is not the case as we work here. This marker is also a little dry, but we'll use that to our advantage. Because it's going to give just some nice kind of streaky strokes as I work with it. But let me tell you, it's so frustrating. Like I said, when you spend money on something and you think it's going to work a certain way, and then it doesn't. Especially when you spend a lot of money on it. Kind of frustrating. I think somebody asked me earlier on the earlier stream, why are you upset? Let me tell you, if you spent, a couple $100 on something, you'd want it to work well. At least I do, certainly. Alright, so I'm just using a warm gray 7 here. The marker is a little dry, but it should. But I try to do some animal stylizations. I'm not sure what that means, Luca. You'll have to explain a little bit better what you mean there. So, because yeah, I'm just hanging out today after the terrible experience I had with this software. I'm so sorry. I take a lot of pride in what I do, meaning, I want to create the best online content and experiences for you guys, so I hope you understand. My frustration has nothing to do with you guys personally or anything like that. It's just, I work really hard to prepare all this stuff for you, so hope you appreciate and understand that. That's all. Alright, just getting some blue-green up in here, up in this bird's business. And as we build up these values, don't be afraid of contrast when you draw. Not saying that you are, but I know when I started drawing, I was always afraid of, putting contrasting things down. But contrast is where things really start to pop and come alive. And so you just want to make sure you have enough as you're drawing. So that's something you definitely want to pay attention to. So here's an example of what I mean. I can pick up some of these warm tones from the gray, but also mix in the blue-green, which is going to help with just making sure the colors are harmonious with the rest of the drawing. Do I keep any humidor packets in my bags to keep the Copics fresh? I try to just keep them in an airtight container, and so far over the years that's worked reasonably well. Occasionally I'll have a dried out marker. I do have tons of inks as well available to me. So, and I keep those because I want to make sure that the markers I love are always going to be ready to go when I'm ready to go, because it's really frustrating if you have a favorite color or something and you want to use it, and when you do break it out to use it, it's like dead. It's really, really, really frustrating. So hope you guys don't think I'm like a super stressed out person. I'm not. It's just like I said, I take a lot of pride in these presentations and making sure that you guys have a great experience, so I hope you understand. Alright, so I'm just going to pick some yellow reds here. We'll just have some fun. As always, start light, work our way darker with these. Okay, so I've got a yellow red 61 here, and I'm just going to start shading in the areas where there is going to be some orange on this bird. Oh, sweet, we're back up to 18 people. Nice. Thank you guys so much, and my apologies for all the weird technical stuff today. For me, this is a learning experience, certainly, and I can take that in stride and learn from that. Okay, so once again, this is what we're working on building up to, just with our contrast and our tones, trying to get the right saturation in, all of that good stuff, and hopefully we'll get there soon enough. The back of the head of the bird is a little bit more angular than I want, so I'll modify that with marker just a little bit. and we'll go from there. Okay, I will check my Instagram DMs, Luca. Let's see. You slid into my DMs, so I'm going to slide right back. Okay, Luca. Let's see. I don't see a penguin right now, so I just see some humor, but maybe that'll come through in a little bit. And then some of these areas you can't quite get the opacity you want just with the markers, so you kind of have to use pencil eventually, which we're going to be using as well. So watch out for that. Okay, so here I can start to build up the orange a bit, just paying attention to, again, form and value. I want those areas to really pop, right? Be even better if I had some orange paint, but I don't have that available right now. It is on order, however. We're going to start painting here on Sketch-A-Day too, so stay tuned for that. Bottom line is I just love drawing. I don't care if it's, fine art or observational or whatever. I just really enjoy it, so that's what I try to do. And no, this is not going to be a perfect one-to-one of the bird. You could say we're using this as inspiration as we go. I need some red and with some green. Yeah, we're just building up, right? So you got to start with the light colors and just continue to layer. If it needs some green, we can put green in certain spots and so forth, but it's all about just layering and making sure you have the right base colors, because we are going to go over this, or at least I am, with some pencil as well. And I have colored pencils to kind of help with the shading that's going to be coming here in a sec. So but yeah, I didn't quite get the shape of the head totally right. Well, that's okay. I like to tell myself there's always a fix. Sometimes that fix is starting over, but not right now. Oh, thank you, Edward. That's very, very kind of you to say. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully this is working a bit better. Like I said, it's been a bit of a nightmarish morning in terms of getting everything right and figuring things out. If you do want to support, whoops, let's see if we can get this going. If you do want to support me, there are ways to do that through Venmo and PayPal. I know some of you guys have done that in the past, so I just wanted to show you how to do that. Let's see, FStreamK, blah blah, Media Player 1, key. Okay, so this should work now. Nope. I feel like it is getting. Oh, there we go. I feel like it is getting better over time, though. That a lot of these technical things will get ironed out. But I remember back in the day when I used to do this, and the setup that was involved, and it certainly wasn't as sophisticated. So I guess there's something to be said about keeping things a little bit simpler, if you will. But in any case, just having fun, having a good time here as we go. Alright, just want to get some orange down in this guy's area. Some of these feathers have little orange tips too, just on this other side. So yeah, not quite perfect, but we're getting closer. Stick with me, hang with me here. All right, so now I'm using the brush tip of the marker, and I want to create some texture, particularly where we have, you know, the ends of some of these feathers right here. Just kind of layering. So again, not a perfect observational drawing, but trying to capture the essence of this little guy, this beautiful, beautiful bird, as we go, just with our progressive strokes here. Something a little different for sketch a day. The first bird. Maybe we'll do more nature stuff in the future if you're interested. But definitely appreciate you being here. Thanks again for your patience. I think so far anyways that this seems to be working better than the other way I was streaming, so I may not completely lose it on this company that I spent lots of money with. So we'll see. I'm feeling a lot better. So thank you again for your patience and for being here. And hopefully you like the music. If you are a musician and you want to put together some stuff for the channel, I'm always open to that. Always definitely open, so let me know. So the reason I love Copic markers, one of the reasons, there are many, they blend really well. So I can take this warm gray and come over here on the top and just, you know, try and get some of these. If you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I am trying to get the top of the bird, the head, in a way that is representative a bit of the texture in the feathers and the patterning in these feathers. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. We'll enhance that with some paint. Oops, kind of had a weird cut over there. We'll enhance that with some paint as well, but just trying to capture the essence of some of what's happening here, just with this warm 70. And again, because they blend, a pop thing, so don't worry, don't freak out. It'll look good in the end. At least I hope it will. This is my first feathery friend after all. Be to make this just a little bit closer so you guys can see what's happening. All right, let me jump back to the chat here. This is a kingfisher, yes. This is a kingfisher. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Oops, that was out. All right. So zoom in so you can kind of see what's happening, what's up, happy Friday, all that good stuff. Okay, thanks Luca. I will check that out. I can't promise I'll do it right now because I don't want to take away from this too much. Thanks for hanging out, guys. And my apologies on the stream mishap this morning. That was wild, man. That was not fun. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maybe I need to hire like a someone to help me out on Fridays if this, you know, becomes a bigger thing, and then they can help with the technical direction of the stream, so I don't have to do that and produce content at the same time. So, okay, we're having fun drawing birds today, or a kingfisher, I should say. Beautiful kingfisher. Like, I'm having so much fun with the color. It's It is a gorgeous, gorgeous bird. Really good to see some organic. Oh, thank you. Yeah, trying to just mix it up a bit. I am using reference, so this is not totally from my head, but I am taking some liberties. Still trying to at least be true to the anatomy of this beautiful creature. But for me, sketching is about capturing the essence of something and not necessarily being 100% accurate and perfect. That's why we have cameras. That's why we take photographs, and not really interested in hyper-real personally. I mean, I can do it if I need to, but it takes so much time. Alright, so we're almost to a place where I like to use pencil. I'm going to bust out my earth tones as well. So bust out some earth tones. Organizing after this project is going to be a bear, by the way. It is not going to be fun, let me tell you. Okay, let's see what we have here. We've got a 71, 4. That one's too dark. What I'm trying to do is just find some markers for the branch. I may actually use just some warm gray for it, just to keep it simple. And I'm way more familiar with my grays than I am with these browns, so I may just do that. Alright, checking in on the chat real quick. Hello everybody. Where are you from? What's happening? How's it going? Happy Friday. What are you doing? Are you at work? Are you at school? Are you at a bar? Are you in bed? What's going on? Alright. My warm grays are not super available, so I'm just going to use a toner gray, and then I may blend it in with some orange as well, just for this branch. Oops. You guys can't see what I'm doing, so zoom out again. And adjust my lighting. Okay, there we go. As always, for the channel, so if you're interested in seeing that, what it looks like outside of this video picture, that'll be available as well. So that's something you can look out for. Alright, I may have to throw some yellow in on this. And yes, I do have yellow markers. I have pretty much every color available, which is frankly very fun. It's fun to just have those options, be able to do whatever I want to do. But before you put down a color, you always want to test it. Alright, this one seems okay. This mustard. It's a little yellow, but we can blend that in. Maybe just where there's these highlights. Oh, we cut out again. I have no idea what's going on. It should pick back up though, since I am using this software. There we go. This never happened last week, so I think I need to check the settings on the stream again. What's to be doing? Because my cameras are not supposed to shut off. Okay, so at this point, I've got these pencils, and I'm going to be using these pencils just to help out. Oh, Jason, you're sick. Sorry to hear that, dude. That's the worst. My kids have been sick all week, and it's not been fun. There's been lots of, shall we say, bodily fluids and not so wonderful things happening. So yeah, I totally get it, and that is terrible. So terrible. So I'm just picking a few pencils here, and I'll start to use the pencils as well as some paint just to kind of enhance the marker work. Typically the pencils, it's hard to go, I mean, you have to pick like dark green. My apologies for the sharpening here. Earlier on the stream, I did mention that I don't prepare for these. So, and the reason for that is I want you to see, well, one, it saves me time, but two, I want you to kind of see the process that I take. I want you to see the raw process that I take when I'm creating something. So hopefully that's beneficial to you. If not, too bad, I guess. But that's how I do it. Aha, there you are. I found the indigo blue. Oh, thank you, Alden. I appreciate it. I'm always learning. Always learning, and I'm learning that this camera that I'm using is not ideal, so we may have to switch back to my other camera that I typically use. Actually, it feels kind of hot, so I think it might be an overheating issue. Yeah, I think it might just be overheating. So give me just a sec. I'll switch something here, and we'll see if that helps, but my apologies. Bear with me, don't go away, guys. I'm still here. Promise. I just think I figured out the problem. All right. Always learning, though. Tell you what. Always learning. Okay. All right, let's see here. Boom. Okay. So I think that camera was overheating. If you want me to get in the weeds on cameras, I can tell you all about that. But basically, there are certain regulations and systems in place that limit how long some of these cameras can be on, and I think I just bumped up onto that. So, simple aluminum radiator for a camera. Can you send me a link or point me to that? Because I've never heard of that before. But I know about cooling heat sinks and all that in computers. I've just never seen someone use one for a camera. So let me know. I'd love to make this a great experience for all of you. So I appreciate it. Okay, so with the pencil here, I am now, and this lens that I have on this other camera is better because I can zoom in a bit more, but basically what I'm doing is just taking a pencil and now adding texture where I want or need there to be some texture. Okay, so that's what's happening here. What age did I start drawing? So I guess I could tell you a little bit about my story. So I grew up in Jamaica, a small island in the Caribbean, and I wanted to be a math teacher. I mean, my dad, he was an artist. Not professionally, he just liked drawing. He was kind of like me. He was actually a chemist by trade, and so apply myself and just kind of focus on my skills and abilities and make sure that, you know, I was practicing daily. So that didn't happen till I was in college. So right now I've been drawing for about, I don't know, 16 years, actively, professionally, daily. But even then, there've been ebbs and flow, meaning sometimes I draw more and sometimes I draw less. And lately I've been drawing more, and I can see and feel myself getting better. There's things I want to get better at yet, but it's definitely something you have to work out consistently if you want to get really good at drawing. Okay, let me just check in on my YouTube. Okay, earlier things have not worked out so well, and we are just trying to hobble along here, make this work. But yeah, Svetlana, if you know of the link or that product, definitely let me know, and I would love to buy it and try it out. Because I can't have this failing on me like every week that I use it. Or I'll just have to switch to a real video camera, which I don't want to have to do, because they're just not as good as these photo cameras that I like to use. But you know, you got to do what you got to do. So let me know. So yeah, again, the pencil kind of just helps enhance the contrast where I need it. I can come in because it's a more opaque medium than the marker. The marker is translucent, the ink by nature, so you kind of have to build things up, and when you do, it gives you the ability to then come over the marker where and when, how you need it, so that you can build up those tones or values as you need them. Yeah, no problem, and feel free to ask any questions as I'm working here. We're just hanging out. I am determined to finish this though because of what happened earlier, so I appreciate you rejoining if you were a part of that mess earlier. Definitely appreciate it. It doesn't look like I'm getting any camera slowdown either, which is good. So we can keep rolling along. I've switched to a brown marker. So this bird, as I'm looking at it, it has like brown tones and blue tones, and it's a really beautiful, beautiful bird, but it's also very difficult to kind of capture everything. Okay, so just trying to make sure I, as much as possible, capture the essence of what's happening. Alright, so I'm going to switch to my warm gray because I want to make sure that the shadow on this tree branch has some nice contrast on it as well, so you guys can see what I'm doing here. And with markers, just remember, light until you get it right. When in doubt, rough it out as you're drawing, because it's a lot harder to correct mistakes when you go darker, or too soon, when you go dark too soon, than it is if you just work with some light color first, okay? And fix those mistakes as you go. Alright, so we've got this branch. I'm just gonna use my pencil just to indicate some texture here. I'm not really focusing on the branch itself. It's not the main portion of the drawing, but I do want to indicate at least somewhat that, you know, this is some sort of tree branch here. This thing is on, this bird is on, not a thing. Okay, something like that with the shadow. A couple lines for texture. I don't draw a lot, but really want to get into it. It's technology today, changing a traditional paper pen. If I just skimmed your question, but if I'm interpreting it correctly, that is from Shakid. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Disclaimer: I am terrible at names, so don't hate me if I got it wrong. My worm guy. Anyhow, top curve max is the same because of GPS devices. Yeah, I think technology is going to change the way we create things. Absolutely. I don't think sketching itself as a human skill ability will go away, but maybe the relevance and importance of it may change over time. But I don't see, pencils completely being eliminated anytime soon. But there are interesting ways to create that are being developed. Things like VR. There's AI-assisted drawing tools that you can use now. When you think about apps like Procreate and how I can make a stroke and then, when I make that stroke, if I hold it, it'll actually try and interpret what I'm doing. So now I'm using some white paint just to kind of color pop some of these areas. Just as a reminder, this is what we're working on today. Working on this beautiful kingfisher. So in the instance where you may have gone over an area too much, you can take a little white paint here on the eye, for example, and just add that on these feathers on the top, just on the in-betweens. I'm going to add a little bit of white paint. Now if I had a full set of gouache, which is on order, like I said, we're going to start painting it, sketch it a little bit here and there. Then I could, use more specific colors, but we'll just use white for today. Because I want to make sure I'm respecting some of these highlights and texture. And yes, that's a good tip, Luca. Definitely sign and date your work. I'm not perfect at it. I've gotten out of the habit a bit, but I need to get back to it. Because if you don't track, you don't know. And if you don't know, how can you grow, right? So tracking your progress with your work is super important. Even with the brush, I'm holding it fairly high up on the barrel or handle because I do want to be able to see what I'm doing as I'm painting. Alright, and then just on the tips of some of these feathers, we got some nice highlight areas I want to capture. Again, just the essence of this, not so much the precise representation of this kingfisher. Just enough to make it feel just enough to make it feel like a kingfisher. I'm sorry. I got lost in my thought here as I was applying some of this white paint. But thanks for the suggestions, Svetlana. Once again, I'm gonna look into that. See if there's a heatsink. So I'm using Sony A6400s, which are these guys. Solid camera for recording the footage I record for my videos, but I think this one might be getting hot as well a little bit already. So we're gonna have to wrap this up soon, otherwise it'll start cutting out again. So yeah, always learning as I go. CPU cooler connected to, oh, okay, that makes sense. I can totally do that. I mean, I don't have a 3D printer at home, but I do have people who can machine something for me, and I do CAD, believe it or not. I just don't do videos about CAD, but I can make a part, no problem. So that's a great idea. Alright, I think that's it for the white paint for now. If I need anything else, I will add it. I seem to have lost the cap for my paint, which is never a fun thing. So I'm just going to set it upside down on my work here for a bit. Hold, please. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Are you doing anything fun this weekend? What's going on in your world, your neck of the woods? Hello, Melaninjas. Melaninjas, I really like that. That's a super cool name. Yeah, I definitely have lost the cap for my paint, so this will be an interesting Friday. You ever have one of those days where like everything goes wrong? I feel like that's today. So I'm just gonna cap off this white for now. Oh, I found it. Ha! Alright, so now just with a little black here, clean up the beak. In this case, I like using the pencil because it is transferring some of the texture of the paper to the drawing, or rather, it's really coming through nicely on the drawing. Can enhance the eye a little bit. Clean up any areas I need to. Ooh. So you're saying that Thingiverse has stuff for the A6400 accessories? Because I could just get that and then have my friend 3D print for me. So I'll have to definitely check that out. But man, what a nightmare. What a nightmare. Okay, I think someone mentioned putting some red in this, and I think you're right. I can see the red now. Just a couple little areas where it needs a little bit of intensity. So, okay, that's a yellow red. How about we start with this red 24? And I'll just mix it with the orange, and it'll just kind of help with the values here. I missed out on some of the yellow. I wish I had some yellow gouache with me right now. That would totally help. Huge collection of the details from people around the world. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Also, if any of you guys know a ton about video, I've always got questions, so let me know if you'd be willing to answer some questions or that kind of thing. But I feel like I'm just kind of learning as I go, and it's definitely gotten better, but man, some days I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm doing, help. So I don't know if you watched the video I posted this morning, the tutorial, but there was an instance where in Premiere Pro I was working and then the footage ended up going unrendered on the timeline, which caused an issue with export, which, you know, it all it all waterfalled one thing into the next, and so there's a section of the video that just doesn't work. But the audio content is worth it, so I'm just gonna leave it up. But in any case, those are things I'm learning the hard way, but still having fun. Thank you. Yeah, I'll probably go over it with red just a little bit more in some of these areas, just to kind of pop it, you know, just a little bit, but good enough for now. And so with the pencil, the white actually works really well if I do have a darker color down already and I need to kind of just pop something a little bit. You can take your white pencil. This one's really stubby. I have some more on order. They were supposed to get here today or something, but they shipped late. So that's what's happening there. So we'll make do with what we have. From the time of day, I started a little earlier, then we had some technical difficulties, so I've probably been going, I don't know, 40 minutes to an hour now at this point. So it's been a morning, man. Tell you what, I had to stop the stream and start again and do all this stuff, but here we are. So I'm using, if any of you guys stream, whether it's gaming or otherwise, I'm using OBS, Open Broadcast Studio, which seems to be working better than what I was using before, which was just Chrome browser and a straight up YouTube stream. I didn't realize, if all this technical talk is like annoying to you, let me know, but I didn't realize the stream key wasn't set correctly, and then I had to do all this stuff and finally got it working. So yeah, it's been an interesting morning, to say the least. All right, let's finish out our branch here, and I think we're in a pretty decent spot. Yes, Luca, I know you sent me a message. I'm not ignoring you. I just have to focus on the drawing here for a bit. But I will take a look. Oh, I got that. Okay, so I see what you're saying now. That's interesting. Luca was asking about stylized animals, so, you know, maybe a simplified geometric version of this guy here. Yeah, OBS, I tried using it before and then it crashed immediately, and I was like, I need reliable, consistent, and so Chrome in browser streaming YouTube was working fine, and then today I had that mishap, and so now I'm like, you know what, maybe it's time to try OBS. So that's what I did. Okay, a little bit more red just to finish out some of these gradients, help with the color here, like so. There, my desk is so messy right now, if you guys could see it. There's just like markers everywhere. But a lot of what I'm doing here isn't really different from how I draw on my videos on YouTube. The principles all apply. You know, light till you get it right, build up, layering your colors, and so forth. So just thought I'd do something a little different. I've never drawn a bird with markers. This is, you guys are witnessing the first sketch a day bird marker drawing. Okay, and I'm glad it turned out okay, because I had no idea how it would work. I mean, I do enough of these drawings that I know how to use the tools, so I figured I could, you know, get it done. So here we are. Groovin' on a Friday. Groovin' on a Friday. Hope you like the music too. So once again, as always, if you do want to, pitch in, help out, whatever, you can use those links. PayPal, Venmo. I appreciate whatever contributions have been given in the past. This is a self-funded operation. I am not sponsored by anyone. However, if you do want to sponsor me, by all means, let me know. They say when you do what you love, things will work out. And I am definitely doing what I love, so appreciate the support. Appreciate you being here, as always. But I'm getting to a point here where I feel pretty good about my drawing. May call it quits here in just a sec. Just want to capture a couple texture things in these feathers. A couple little strokes here and there. The yellow on the branch didn't quite work out the way I was hoping it would, honestly. So I'm trying to see if I can find like a nice tone to kind of soften that out. So let's see. Nope, that is too red. Thank you, G Artist. I appreciate it. Just having fun here on a Friday. I'm broadcasting from Salt Lake City, Utah, where I live. I know it's weird, but I like it. It has its positives and negatives like anywhere else. But we make do. We make do. So yeah, here's my bird. Hope you like it. Well, actually, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. I like it. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Just, just a reminder to myself. Nice hiking out in Utah, I guess. There are some spots that are more hick than others. Thank you, Jason, for your support, and thank you to all Patreons. I have not sent your stickers out yet, but I will. It's been a week of various body fluids and sickness in my house. I'll spare you the details, but needless to say, we're on the mend, on the up and up. And we're having fun, so appreciate all the support. Appreciate you guys being here. What are the positive and negatives of Salt Lake City? There's not really a robust design space here, but there is a robust business base. So having to kind of educate people about design is kind of tough sometimes. But positives, outdoor space. I live right next to the mountains. Can't beat that. Like 10 minutes and I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty awesome. But 10 minutes the other direction and I'm downtown, and I am, close to the nearest bar, restaurant, that kind of thing. So handy in that regard. It's also not super diverse. So if you're looking for diversity, this is not the place for you. But a friend of mine said once that diversity begins somewhere, and so I believe that in being here, I am essentially an agent of change. Cost of living is reasonable. It's actually going up lately, but compared to like California or New York or so forth, Chicago, it's pretty affordable. And with the internet the way it is now and the way people work, remote work is not that foreign of a concept. So let's see. There's skiing, if you're into that. I live 10 minutes from ski resorts at the base of the mountains. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But the biggest plus for me is I live near my sister, and she's incredible. She's actually an artist too, so maybe sometime I'll show you some of her work, because she's way better than I am. She just doesn't put her stuff out there. So by better, I mean we do different things. She's not an industrial designer. She's more of a traditional fine artist, and also actually works as a UX designer right now, but trained as a fine artist. So yeah, I do enjoy it here. It is, for what it is good. There's always good and bad everywhere. Oh yeah, hiking as well. That is good. So once again, thanks for joining. Doing something a little different today on the stream. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Alright, so at this point in my drawing, I kind of like to take a step back because I'm sitting right now. Take a step back, take a look at things, see how it looks, see if there's anything else I need to do. Made a little mistake there, but that's okay. If this were client work, I'd have to redo that or figure out a way to change all this, but this is all work for myself and for you guys, so it's all good. I guess I could do something like this if I wanted to, just to clean up that other orange mark and then now make it part of the branch here. So yeah, that's what I mean by there's always a fix. There are ways to work our mistakes into our drawings as need be if you're working on something. So there's a good learning example for you. All right, and I forgot who mentioned it earlier, but yes, you always want to sign your work and date. I'm not going to sign the exact day of the week. Oh, maybe I should. Today is the, was it 21st? Because last week was Valentine's Day. 2/21/20. There you go. Thank you, Linus. Thank you very much. It's always hard to know when to stop with the drawing, and it can be overwhelming. Like, oh, I don't know what to do and where to go and what's happening. But if you just kind of take a moment just to think about your drawing, oftentimes you can create a strategy. Maybe that's also a video topic. How to create a strategy around completing your drawings. Say you have a complex project or colors or whatever. But in my case, just working with layers and thinking through things, I'm able to kind of just relax. Especially when you work light, it's really easy to just take the pressure off of you as you're drawing. And I think up front it's important to kind of set an expectation. It's a sketch. It's not meant to be a perfect thing. It's been interesting in the arc of my career, at least. Maybe this will be a little soapbox moment for me, but sketch, like the word sketch, doesn't necessarily mean sketch anymore. I've noticed, especially with like Instagram and social media and how easy it is, and everyone's competing for attention, right? So it's about making a sketch look better than everyone else's sketch. But then in doing that, you kind of change the definition of sketch, because when I was in school, a sketch was literally a sketch. It was not a rendering, which is probably more what this is, a rendering, which means a higher degree of fidelity for the finished product than you would have ordinarily. Okay, this is what we're working on just once again. But yeah, I think sketch doesn't necessarily mean sketch anymore, and rendering doesn't necessarily mean rendering. It's kind of blurred the lines and set really an unfair expectation for students, I think. So that's something to keep in mind, I guess. And that's my 2 cents on the topic itself. But okay, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. There's my finished sketch. Once again, here's the source material. It's not perfect. We did modify the branch, modified the bird quite a bit, trying to capture the essence of this as we go. But there is the finished sketch, not perfect, but finished sketch of the bird. And hopefully you're able to learn something from this. Hopefully you're able to kind of get some help and ideas on how you can work. Thank you again for joining. If you do want to support, one of the best ways to do that is just purchase something from my store. I do have brushes and sketch examples, as well as a few other things that are available. You can sign up for my newsletter, super helpful. And just watch videos. If you watch the videos, that helps me, helps you. But if you do decide to get materials, definitely check out the links in the description for the video, because that is going to kind of give me a kickback, at least as far as stuff from Amazon. Sorry, those are all Amazon links. So when you do purchase something, I do get a small kickback, and that allows me to buy materials and so forth, like the paints I just bought. So we'll be using those in some future videos, and we'll just be drawing and having fun. So, oh, also another free thing you can do to help is just recommend to people that they, check. If you look at Instagram, design sketches and so forth, what is considered a sketch now was considered a rendering back in the day, and it's interesting to see kind of that progression. I think it kind of hurts students a bit, but anyhow, those are all great ways to support. Thanks for joining, guys. Once again, here's our reference right there, and there's our sketch. So appreciate you joining. The stream will get better. We are making progress. I'm learning about my equipment. I'm learning about video production, all that good stuff. Sorry, I have a monitor up here. And I appreciate you being patient. So thanks for hanging out today. We'll do it again. I may do a few test streams this week. If you're here and available, interested, let me know. But I'm probably just going to be testing a few setup things. So let me know, and just say hi. So we'll see you guys. Take care. Happy Friday.